fifth grade scientists. Today we're going to be talking about what happens when big rocks break down to make smaller rocks. So let's remember what is included in soil. We talked about humus being included, which is smaller pieces of decaying animal or plants. We also talked about rock being in there, and specifically pebbles and gravel, smaller pieces of rock. And lastly, we talked about sand, silt, and clay being in there. So today we're going to talk about the rocks portion of it. And we're going to talk about two specific rocks. We're going to be looking at two types of rocks today. This one right here is called granite. You may have heard granite because it's often used for countertops in kitchens. Granite is an igneous rock, and it forms from the slow crystallization of magma. And magma is found below the surface of the earth. So this stone is always created below the surface of the earth. It also has minerals in it such as quartz and feldspar. So that's what granite is. And the other rock we're going to be working with is called conglomerate. Now, conglomerate is actually just that. It's a mixture of many things. So you might see that in there when you're looking at this video. It's actually a sedimentary rock, and it has very small pieces of clasts, which are really small pieces of rock that have been weathered over time. You might see all different kinds of colors here. I see like a darker black gray up here, but then I'm seeing white or almost crystal-like things. And those are all tiny pieces that have been weathered, but then they're binded together again with sand, mud, and cement. So do you see that reddish looking brown? That's the part that's casting them all together and binding those pieces. So we have two different types of rock, that conglomerate and we have granite. And now I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with those so that you're prepared for our actual lesson. Now for our experiment, we're going to think about the large ranges of mountains, like the Sierra Nevadas or the Rocky Mountains. There's some pretty large pieces of rock in those mountains. And I wonder how those large rocks break down and form into the smaller rocks that we saw in our soil, such as pebbles and gravel. So we're going to do something with our experiment. The first thing we're going to do is your group and you and your group are going to get either a jar with 4 pieces of conglomerate rock or 4 pieces of gravel rock. So you'll put the pieces in the jar and screw the lid on tight, very tightly. And then for 2 minutes, I will time you, you and your group are going to shake that cup vigorously. And that's going to symbolize either an avalanche, the rocks falling down a river, the weathering of rocks. So you'll shake that for 2 minutes. We're going to let the dust settle, and then we'll open up the lid and pour the results out onto a paper plate. Then you and your group can observe, I'm having trouble with that word, aren't I? Observe what is happening, and then you'll switch with another group that had a different type of rock. This way, we can do more experimentation now that I've introduced the lesson to you. So I can't wait to explore physical weathering and see what you learn from it.